highlight some of the changes?
Main change was that the assessed value for the township increased up to $77 million. So that automatically gave us a millage rate increase of about $2,000, up to $77,000 per mill. EIP for the current year decreased down to $400,000.
What page are you going on to? First item would have been page 505.
It's 105. On the 105, it turns to the revenues. Yeah.
301.1.
The first one was the real estate. It was changed because of the assessment went up. Okay, and then, maybe you should say the line item, the account
Yeah.
numbers.
The line item was 310,210. Current year BIT went down to 400,000. Page 3 of 5, under public safety, 362, 410. Building permit fees, that went down to 15,000.
362, 410.
Yeah. Those are all the revenues. On the expenditure side, the supervisor compensation went down to 4,500. I'm sorry, that went down to, that's page 1 of 5 on the expenditures, went down to 3,600.
One thing I wanted to comment, we forgot, were we supposed to do minutes? Also, was on the agenda.
No,
Okay.
that would be for the regular meeting.
Okay. One thing I wanted to comment on, I was, actually, Lee Baylor talked to me, and he said that supervisors cannot change their pay
While they're in office.
while they're in office. I want to make sure that we state this correctly, saying this is a emergency or a special thing, that we're not reducing our pay. We are, for the year, because of the the revenue situation, we are reducing this year's stipend only for this coming year, 2010, only. We're temporarily reducing it to that $1,200 a month. I believe that would be full legal, because it's not reducing our pay, it's just a one-time event thing, so.
$1,200 a month would be quite a change.
Yeah, $1,200 total, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I think what you have to do is basically give it back. You have to cut the check fee and then
Well, I don't
some
know,
manner.
we should see if we
There's
can
an
do it.
administrative function that has to be ironed out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
we'll work on that.
we should be able to just reduce the pay instead of giving it back.
Not aware of the Secretary of Township Code,
Mhm.
state law.
Well,
But we'll
I think
figure
that
that
needs
out.
further investigation.
Check with PSAC, but the idea would be that we reduce our total
Mhm.
pay $1,200 a year instead of the $1,875 for this one-time event, 2010.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. Under Secretary Treasurer, line item 405-215, postage and machine rental, that we knocked down to 1,500.
Could that go down a little bit further? Are we're still doing the machine rental?
Yeah,
Okay,
Would that save anything, getting rid of that?
well, the machine rental for this year
Yeah.
costs $249 so far. It's $44.52 a quarter, so that's what it's gonna cost next year. We had an initial cost also for the setup of it, which is in that $249. And then the actual postage year-to-date was $930, which is in line with 2008, because 2008, without the newsletters counted, was $1,005. So 1,500 is pretty close. I mean, if we're gonna keep the postage machine, maybe it could go down to 13, but it's not gonna make that much difference. So,
Machine rentals over 15% of the line item.
yeah, but the opposite is either going to the post office every day and mailing stuff, or certain stamps on it. Mailing machine really does save a lot of time, especially with the weights, you're not sure how much it is.
So I just wanna make sure that's worth the
It is.
extra cost, to getting the savings back out of it.
PSAT's dues, 405,306. That actually goes up to 875. We had that in a couple other line items, so we're consolidating it here. Next one, right below that is payroll services. We're gonna go back to QuickBooks, get rid of AD Computer. That will go down to $500. Yeah, we're gonna look that out.
There's still automatic deposit.
Well, it's on that, so you know, it's for those.
Yeah, there is with QuickBooks, and
Yeah.
there's no cost.
You know, but anyway, there was a situation with the course of the bank, whatever they were using, it's a question.
No, Dan and I talked about that, we'd still be using that, it might be a payroll or two to get it set up, but then it would be direct deposit would be available.
We'll let you know. Make sure it's smooth.
But the cost savings is even if there is no direct deposit, I mean, even with my time, it takes me double the time to do payroll now than it did with QuickBooks.
Under legal advertising, next, 2 lines down, 405,341, that will drop down to $500. Line below that, printer's forms, 405,342, will drop down to 1,000.
Dan,
Yeah.
listed as 1,000, 45, 341.
Yeah, I think you're off a line, Dan.
Am I? Okay.
Yeah.
Evening.
Amount should be 500 instead of 1,000, is that correct? For legal advertising.
No, but that should be,
Yeah, legal
Or you can
advertising is
make it
1,000.
1,000, yeah.
Okay. What was the next one, I'm sorry?
Next one is right below that. Printed forms, 405,342. Now dropped to now dropped to 250. Got a lot of lines going.
Print is too small.
Yeah.
What are you eliminating the newsletter?
One. Beside that.
The two actually are being eliminated. Well, next year's budget doesn't have any. The postage for the newsletters for two of them was $619. And the printing was about $500 for each.